वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्रितं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। जोग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। We are discussing today Yoga Vasishtha Nirvana Prakaran, second half and 37th chapter. The subject is desire to enjoy the sense objects and why it happens, what is the consequence, and who has this desire to enjoy and who has no desire to enjoy. What is the state of the desireless person and what is the state of desiring person. All these we have been discussing since a few days, and today we shall see further and the essence of all our discussions. We have to see the origin, how the desire is generated and why, how the desire to enjoy the sense objects starts appearing and multiplying, modifying and fulfilling and not fulfilling and getting stronger and stronger, multiplying, all these. And on the other hand, who has no desire, how can it be rooted out if at all it creates miseries and pain? It has to be rooted out. So how to root it out? And what happens if there is no desire of enjoyment? What will be the state of the being? And why it is needed or not needed? So all these we shall see today. Yesterday we saw Vasistha ji said, O Ram, इसे प्रपंच की स्थिति संकल्पात्मा आकाश रूप होने से जिसका जैसे अनुभव है वैसे ही है, इसलिए सूक्ष्म संकल्प एवं मोह वाले योगियों की मनन पूर्वक जगत के विषय में जो कुछ उक्तियां हैं वे बिल्कुल सत्य है. Yesterday we saw this. Vasistha ji says, O Ram, the great yogis who have the absolutely subtle thoughts to get rid of the desires. That is also a thought. To get rid of desires, and when they go on contemplating over the desires and to try to get rid of it, then what they experience, what have they told us, that is, whatever they have declared after their investigation, contemplation, it is true, it cannot be false. Whatever they have declared after investigating, it is true. That is what we shall see today. What have they told us? अतएव भिन्न भिन्न पदार्थों की जो नाना प्रकार की कल्पनाएं हैं, वे भी तत् वासनाओं से परिपूर्ण संकल्पों के अनुसार ही सत्य है। सबके संकल्पों के अनुसार या परमार्थ रूप से वे सत्य नहीं है। यह भिन्न भिन्न पदार्थों की संबोधित कर कहते हैं कि न तो विज्ञानवादी बौद्धों की अंतर विज्ञान मात्र परमार्थवादिता सत्य है, और न वैशेषिकों की बाह्य अनर्थवादियों ही सत्य है, किंतु आप लोगों के संकल्प के अनुसार ये सभी ज्ञान फलीभूत होते हैं। विज्ञानवादी बौद्धों का सिद्धांत है कि एकमात्र अंतर्विज्ञान ही परमार्थ वस्तु है और कुछ नहीं, और वैशेषिकों का मत है कि दुख के हेतुभूत द्रव्य गुण कर्म आदि 7 बाह्य ही सत्य है, और ज्ञाता ज्ञान और ज्ञेय तथा प्रमाता प्रमाण और प्रमेय के प्रकाशन की रूप है संसार। They have given some formulas. Whatever the Buddhists have found out, and whatever this Vaiseshiko means their special category, whatever they have said about the objects outside us, they are objects with qualities and which is followed by or displayed by action and reaction. In this way, they are 7, and that is called world, and they are there. And Buddhists say the inner Vigyan means the special knowledge that we in modern language we call science. It is special language, special knowledge, Vigyan, and thorough knowledge, Vishesh Gyan, thorough knowledge. So it must be analytical, logical, experiential knowledge. So that is what the Buddhists say, and that only creates this world and all these desires for the objects of the world. And when the desires are subsided, There is no world, and that is called nirvana by Buddhists. No desire means it it is the state of liberation. Nirvana, they say. Nirvana word itself means the disappearance or destruction. Destruction means destruction of only desires. Then the remaining state remains as the state of absolute truth. So that is known by nirvana. In this way, and this world is nothing but the knower, known and knowing process, or the prover, proved and proving process. All these are called worlds. Here, Vasistha say, O Ram, all these सिद्धांत मीन्स दे सिद्धांत को क्या कहेंगे? प्रिंसिपल, theories. All these theories, what they have found out, all these are wrong. In one word, he has cancelled everything. Whatever all these different schools of thoughts they say to be correct, all are wrong. Then what is right? So Vasistha says, what you think about it is right. Can you go against it? What you think to be right is right. So, what do you think? How do you think? What is it? He says, आप लोगों के संकल्प के अनुसार ये सभी ज्ञान फलीभूत होते हैं. Whatever you think, as you think, so it appears to you, and that results in that way to you. The effect of that objectification or whatever you think to be true, if it appears to be true, then what is its consequence? What will be its influence over you? That is the result of it. What is the quality of it? That depends upon your thoughts. Before this, we have already discussed many times. Many times we have discussed. There is no object which has got any qualities. This world has no qualities at all. Though basically we have understood till now, which is not rejectable. The world appears to us, whatever we think of it, its nature, its qualities we see, and that is called the nature of the absolute. That is called world. Maya we say, or in different terms we say it is nothing but the nature of the absolute. That means the qualities. In one word we say World is nothing but adjective of the absolute, the qualities, and that is known as the habit or the nature, and that is how we see this world. So, till now we have understood up to this. Further we have to go to understand. Deeper we have to understand. Whatever appears as the nature of the Absolute, who sees it? It is I who see. Whatever I think, whatever I see by my five senses and forced by five tanmatras, Sabda, Sparsa, Roop, Ras, Gandha, they sound, form, smell, touch and taste. All these are five principles of understanding or seeing or relating with this world outside. By five senses, by these five tanmatras, units, we project out these five units through the five senses of knowledge, and then we have contact with the outward objects of the sense, particular sense, and then we see the world with names and forms, which is progressive with action and reaction. And where we see the seer, seen and seeing of process, in this way world is seen. So now, who sees the world? It is I, the person. The person or the identity as I. A personificated object which is known as with an ego identifying nature, that is called ego. With that ego I know I am known as I. That is my identity, and that is called ego. And that ego with this body, senses, prana, it has contact with the external objects which we know as the world. All our relations, kith and kins, all our relations with the seen names and forms, everything comes within it. This is how we know the world, and we are in this world. And everything we know to be changeable, and that's how it is always going on multiplying. When it changes, it will have motion, that is called action and reaction, and that motion itself is known as the evolution process or journey of life, or the unending story of the soul. Same thing. It is unending. This is how we know the world till now. Now, in this way we have seen these objects what we see outside, they have got no quality. When we go further analytically to see how it expresses its qualities, there is no quality actually. No object has got any quality, means influence over you or qualities means sattva, tamas, rajas, etc. Or it's a process of changing. Nothing changes and nothing has any qualities of itself. So how do we see the qualities? We see the qualities because of our vision. Our vision with all these five units, with the five senses, with the five elements. Elements means Akash, the sky, fire, air, and water and earth. All these are five basic principles. They are contacted with five senses of eyes and ears, nose, tongue, and the skin. Five senses of knowledge. And they are driven by five tanmatras, units. Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So in this way, the process of perceiving the outside objects is there. We perceive the outside objects and we have contact with the object and we know how it is by its qualities. But at the same time we say that the object has no quality of its own. Then how do you see the object qualities? It is our perception which is influenced by, which is driven by, which is controlled by time and space. Without time and space and situations, conditions, we cannot see any quality of an object. Object is qualityless. So, the whole world is adjective only, and yet before it becomes adjective, everything is one noun, singular noun. Singular noun, not plural. Only one object is there. How one object we see as many, and how we see the qualityless object to be qualified, this is to be understood thoroughly. Then only we can forget this world and get rid of desires and get rid of our miseries of this world. This is the only way. And whatever these different schools of thoughts, Buddhists and Vaisesikas and others say to be true, they are partially true, partially wrong. They have not gone further till the end. They have stopped in between before reaching the goal. How it is, let us see now. It seems to be very complicated because we don't think of it ordinarily. Commonly we think of only, we talk of names and forms, actions and reactions, and this is seer, seen, and seeing of process. All these we discuss. We discuss about the perception method. So in this way, we don't go deep into the matter. Now the time has come to dive deep to see where... हाँ जी, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा. देखो क्या हो गया. इधर लाल.
अभी आ रही है? हरिओम।
अरे ये बार बार ऐसे ही करेगा। अभी आ रहा है? ये बीच बीच में थोड़ा तकलीफ हो रहा है इसका नेटवर्क का।
स्वामी जी आपको भी म्यूट हुआ पड़ा था।
हाँ जी।
कोई म्यूट दिखा रहा था जयमंगल स्वामी जी।
अच्छा, so now we have to go ahead. Now we have to come to know, we have come to know that there is only one object. There are no many objects which has got no name, no form, no qualities, and it is qualified, it is multiplied, it is uh, it is seen, it has appeared with a name and form by time, space and conditions. Without time, without space, there is no world. It is only one, absolutely one without a second. Time and space, these are the two fellows, naughty fellows, who has divided that one into many, and they have qualified it with names and forms. Time and space, these are playing the role. That is how we see this world. Yes?
महाराज from a relative point of view, जैसे आँख खोलने से स्पेस दिखता है ना, आँख बंद होने से भी वो भी है इसमें नहीं।
आंख बंद होने से भी स्पेस है, टाइम है. It is not the eyes which create the space and time. Space and time are not dependent on your eyes. They are independent. Time is independent by itself. It is not dependent on your 5 units or 5 senses or 5 elements, basic elements. Time is not conditioned by all these, nor the space. They are independent by themselves. If they are independent by themselves, you can question now how they are two, then they will be dependent upon each other. If non-conditional, totally independent will be someone, that will be only one. They cannot be two. Because where they are two, one is dependent on the other. Because we see, we count one only when we compare it, relate it with the other, then only we count one. One means there is possibility of the two. Second, that's how one is dependent, second is dependent, third is dependent. If there is time and space, two, then they will be dependent. Why don't you ask? But the answer is time and space are not two. It is only one. It appears to be two, just as the coin appears to be head and tail. Two aspects of one. Two aspects of one only. There is no second. absolutely there is one only. So now, before two starts, we have to agree without one there is no two. Can you have two without any one? Any logic can prove it. There must be one, then only we go to 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Without one, there is no second, no third, no fourth. So one has to be in the beginning, and when that one starts making two, becoming two, then only time and space they appear to be. What is time and space then? Calculating and creating difference is known as relating, is known as time and space both together. How the time is created and how the space is created, that is to be understood thoroughly well. Now we have to accept one principle in the very beginning, which is beyond all these. That is what yesterday we were discussing. We asked the our Chaudhary Sahib asked the computer, and we asked Google, what was before the Big Bang? What was before the Brahmand, the egg of the universe? What was before that? What is it? It is beyond our thought. We have discussed yesterday. We cannot think it because our thought process, our intellect, our mind, they are so limited, so powerless, so limited, it cannot go to that extent. It has limitations. Why? Because it is related with the body, with five layers of existence: Manomay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Vijnanamay Kosh, Anandamay Kosh, all these five seeds. It constitutes the body, and the mind and prana, they are related with the body. So they are so limited that our intellect cannot reach that height, which is beyond time and space. So now at least we can have some ideas, as long as time and space are concerned. Beyond that we cannot, but we can assume. We can assume how, and that assumption will be true. How? For example, if I see my front side something, I am facing towards some direction, and I am able to see some things, some objects with names and forms, isn't it? But I know behind me something is there, which I don't see. Should I behave it or not? Or should I believe it or not? Does anybody not believe what is behind him? There is something which is not known to me. because my perception doesn't reach there. Isn't it? Behind me something is there, which I believe to be. I cannot say there is nothing behind me. Because the all-round directions 360 to the power infinity is there. All over, in all directions there are objects and subjects and seers and scenes and everything is there. World is not before on my front, it is behind me also. In all directions. So I have to believe which I don't see. I assume something is there. In this way, we have to believe something, assume something which is beyond our intellect, beyond our perception, beyond our reach. So, up to time and space we can talk. And time and space are not independent, they are dependent. Now we said time and space, who are not two, they are one, and they are not dependent, they are independent. Just now we said, and now we are telling it is dependent. From one angle it is independent. From which angle? Considering your senses, your perception, they are independent. They are not dependent upon your perception. But they influence your perception. They influence. They are independent of your perception. Your thinking, your seeing, your behaving, your transactions are under the control of time and space. In this sense, they are independent. They are not dependent on your perception. Now, from other angle, from absolute angle, absolutely there is one which is unconditional, which is without a second. That's how we can count and we can have this time and space and conditions we can imagine of it. Without that absolute substratum which is independent of itself, which is unconditional, we cannot bring conditions. See, the logic says, if there is some harmony, then only that can be disharmonied. If something is in balanced state, then only that can be imbalanced. Imbalance cannot happen without balanced state. So in this way, the time and space which are subject to change, which are two aspects of one, that one, absolute one, which is unconditional and independent of itself, then only it will be conditioned and it will be dependent. Dependency depends upon independency. Understood? Dependency is nothing but dependency on independency. Unsteadiness is subject to steadiness only. Speed is known when the constant is vibrated and it becomes unsteady, then only we know what is speed, what is motion, what is action, or else we don't know anything. So that unconditional will be conditioned. First of all, there will be unconditioned. Then that unconditional will be conditioned. The steadiness will be unsteadied. The steadiness will be in motion. The harmony will be disharmonied. This is how we have to go to the absolute substratum, which is absolutely one and absolutely constant, which is never conditioned by anything. So if at all it is so, then how can there be any world or any time and space or subjects and objects or perception, all these five basic elements? How can all these be there? This is a complicated question. Because absolute one will be always one, it is unconditioned. How it can be conditioned? You yourself say it is unconditional, then how it can be conditioned? So it is impossible. But there is a but. World is with if and but the unconditioned is without any if or but. If and buts are used for only world. It is not used there. Somehow or other, we have to take it for granted. The absolute will be always ever present, that is omnipresent. It has to be omnipotent because it is omnipresent. So it is omniscient also. Because when I am present here, I know what is here. So omnipresence results in omnipotency and omnisciency. He will know everything and he will be almighty because he is present everywhere. Because it is absolutely one. Because it is unconditional. So it has to be omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient also. And these three aspects are one aspects of one only. They are not different from each other. The same omnipotency is known as omnipresency, and same is known as omnisciency. Because I am here, I am present here, I know what is here, and I am able to control whatever is here. That's how it is one and the same. It appears to be in three aspects. This is how three qualities are seen. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In one. These three are seen in one only. And because it is so, so it will be absolutely transparent, absolutely pure. There is no possibility of the second which makes it impure. There is no impurities. So absolutely pure, transparent, and everything absolutely. Now, because it is absolutely transparent, so naturally there will be one thing. What will be there? Because of its absolute transparency, what will be there? You see, when the water is very clear and there is sunlight over it, though we don't see any waves there, yet it dazzles the opaque surface, the uh, the glass mirror, it dazzles, isn't it? When you go to snowy peaks, how it dazzles and it spoils your eyesight because of its transparency, because of its purity. Water or snow or glass, they dazzle. That is called because of its transparency. The mud will not dazzle. The pure or clear surface dazzles. So from this we can assume the absolute transparent one, it will dazzle. So that dazzling or glowing, that glow itself is known as its nature. Because of transparency, it will have this nature. Though that nature is not different from it, yet it appears to be different than it. Just as the water and liquidity, just as the fire and heat, they are not different from each other, yet they appear to be different from each other. In this way, because of absolute transparency, the truth, the absolute one, it dazzles, and that dazzling creates the confusion. That is its nature. That is known as nature. It is not different from it. It is within it. So, we cannot say it is conditioned by it. It is non-conditional. That glow, that light or glow or dazzling, that what we can say, aura we can say, or the dazzling we can say glow, that is its nature because of transparency, because of purity. So there, that is how it creates something which appears to be unsteady, just as we see in the desert. Because of heat, the air becomes dazzling, and there we see the false assumption of water existing. Water is existing there. That is false, but it appears to be like that. This is how, because of the transparency, because of that glow which is known in the philosophical language, the self-effulgence, glow, shining, that creates the confusion, and which is the cause for time and space and all these creations. These what we see as time, space and creation within names and forms, all these are within it. It cannot be outside it because it is absolutely one. And that was before the so-called Brahmand, the egg of the universe egg or cosmic egg, that cannot be different than that, and that appearance is known as the egg. When that appearance gets multiplied, that is hatching of the egg, and there should be, as per our concept, there should be sound, and that sound is cause for the time and space, and that sound is nothing but a vibratory system on steady position, that is known as the energy, the cosmic energy. That dazzling is nothing but cosmic energy, which is known as the nature. And that energy, in the very beginning, in the starting point, absolutely there will be one wave, vibratory system when starts, there will be waves, and there will be one, then only it will multiply to be 2, 3, 4, on and on. So, that absolute one thought or absolute one wave in the very beginning, that is known as the egg. When it starts multiplying, it gets matured, and when further it multiplies, that waves, they go on multiplying, then the starting point reaches some phase, and that is the phase of hatching the egg. And there will be blast, that is called audible sound. Before that sound was there, which was not audible because of steadiness. There was no motion. If there is no motion, we cannot hear anything. Means the waves should reach our ear, then only we can hear. The sound waves should reach our the ear, then only we hear something, and that is known as audible sound, or else it is not audible. Sound is there, not audible. Sound is there, sound is nothing but a process, wavering process, vibratory process, which is nothing but energy. Energy starts from somewhere. Where from? Where there was no energy, that means absolute steadiness. So, in the very beginning there will be one wave, there will be, it has to be, and then that will be multiplied. So, in this way, the sound starts, the energy starts, and the process starts, and the nature becomes visible or perceivable, and though it slowly becomes clearer, that clarity is more confusive because it is multiplies. Clarity is confusive. More clear means more confusing. Why? Because more multiplied. So more confusion. So in this way, the first wave, that is known as the cosmic mind, and that becomes in three aspects, sattva, rajas, tamas, or the creative, protective and destructive powers, or the willpower, creative power and the destructive power, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti also, the willpower, knowledge power and creative power. In this way that starts dazzling. That dazzling is understood differently by different seers. That's how there is difference in opinions. Somebody sees it as something, somebody sees it as something else. So in this way, the difference of opinions. And then when that one becomes many, one wave becomes many, the process starts. Process means the motion and changes. Process cannot be steadiness. When steadiness becomes unsteady, it will create a process, a motion, it is known as action, motion, and the same thing when it reacts in different ways, different direction, it is known as reaction. So in this way, all the conditions start, and now this process is known as time and space. This process is known as time and space. Absolutely one, when nothing was, no unsteadiness is seen, then it is beyond everything and it is unconditional. When it is conditioned, it starts from one wave. That one wave is subject to many. So when that many is created, that process is known as time and space. In one way, the distance is known as, distance between the two is known as space, and that relationship, comparison and calculation, relation is known as time. This is how in the very beginning, the time and space are created by Absolute One. Are you able to hold something, understand something? It is something, it is something confusing. If at all you say it is there, then it is created. If you say it is imagination, that is also true. In this way, difference of opinions from different angles. You say it is imagined. Yes, it is true. And it is not true also. And objectified, when there is wave, it will have a form, it will have a name. That is how objects are created. And there will be many, and relation between every two, there will be a space, there will be distance, so that is known as space. The same thing is known as time because it creates the difference. Space creates the difference, and space itself is differentiated. That is how time and space, though they are one and the same, they appear to be different from each other. And that's how it is confusing. Same thing is seen or understood. It is our understanding. What is there, nobody knows, because your maximum understanding can go up to this. Your purest intellect, contemplative intellect can go up to this. Beyond this, nothing we can understand. And this is when understood and mind gets somehow satisfied with this assumption, then mind will not work, then mind will stop, and we know how somehow we can understand our mind. Mind is a process, and this is how the cosmic mind also works. The process is the same. Mind when is absolutely silent. Silent means steady, not in motion. Then only that is beyond everything, unconditional. It is the truth. When it starts working, vibrating, then that is known as many things from different angles. That same vibration is known as prana, the energy, or same thing as known as sound, same thing known as energy or mind, because mind is nothing but a process. And same mind is known as time and space. When one is absolutely steady, in the very beginning of starting point, one is there. When it vibrates, it has to contact other waves, which is known as object. There will be distance between two, and that distance is known as space. And counting and relating and comparing, that is known as time. So time and space is nothing but your mind itself. And that your mind also is the same process as the cosmic mind. Only difference is our mind activates in a limited way. It has got limitations in all directions, and cosmic mind has no directions, no limitations. It is all-round direction. That's how it is known as the cosmic mind. And our mind is limited because it is related with some limited objects caused by mind also. This body, our prana, or our senses, our personality is outcome of our mind only. And what is mind? Mind is time and space and process and relationship, everything. This is how mind is everything. Call it mind, call it time, call it space, call it prana, call it energy. No objection. All are synonymous terms only. All are these terms for the process, Process is the same. Somewhere process is limited, somewhere process is unlimited. That's all. This is how the time and space and objectification, then the objects are conditioned by time and space. This is how. The objects have, as such, they have no qualities. And because our mind is limited, we have some limited projection and contact with the objects. This is how time and space influences our mind to give quality to the object. Object is not qualified. It is conditioned by time and space, and as you contact for a moment, because time is working there, it will change. So, the object has no qualities. You qualify it by your contact with it, by the force of time and space. This is how these objects are perceived by our mind with names and forms. Yes?
From a relative point of view, वो तो application में लिखते हैं ना, तब application में लिखते हैं तो उसमें लिखता होता है interview वगैरह, date of birth वगैरह, उसमें लिखे ना place.
Place.
From a relative point of view, वो बोलता है place of origin, place of birth, और दूसरा है from a logical point of view space.
Place and space, you see, they are sometimes identical, sometimes they are different. These words create, from other angle if you see, these words are the confusive process. Because one word has got so many meaning, because meaning is relationship with different objects. That is how a word means. So the word, the sound becomes a name for the object. It relates with the object with the quality, then it becomes the name. Name is given to the object by its actions, its qualities. Guna karma vibhagasa. Gun, qualities, and karma, actions. How does the object act? How does it qualify? How does it influence? On that name is given to the object. मोटू है, इसलिए मोटू उसका नाम पड़ गया. गोलमल है, गोलू. It depends upon the qualities, actions. Names are created in this way. Every name will have some meaning. And meaning is of the object. When it contacts the object, then only the word has meaning. Or else there is no meaning of the word. It is only a sound. So in this way, words are confusive.
महाराज वो जो ऐसा वो त्योहार आता ना, तब वो पंडित जी आते हैं, वो ऐसा लंबा बोलते हैं, बरदागंड है, वो उत्तराकाशी, उसके बाद जीवानंद आश्रम से, वो this is a place from a logical, from a space.
Space and a place and a point. And many also, everything is there. If you go discuss more, you will go mad. Bhai. Only way to go mad. Because our mind is a process. We are talking and understanding means only process. Process cannot understand all these. Unless and until you becomes absolutely steady, that is the state of meditation. Nobody can understand anything. And that's how they understand, but when they express it, they differ from each other. Everybody understands the truth. All these schools of thoughts, they understand the truth, but while expressing, they will have to differ from each other because language differs. You say water, I say tanni. He says toyam. He says jal. Object is same. Understood now? Don't give importance to all these terms. Terminology creates the confusion. Same thing is seen by different people from different angle. Object is same, seen by different people, different angles, and expressed it differently. That's how they say ekaha sat vipra bahudha vadanti. The seers, the great saints and sages, the great seers who have seen the truth. Seen means experienced, who have been one with the truth. They express it, they differ from each other. Muninam cha mati brahma. All these expressions differ from each other. Why? Because the language differs. Expression differs. Expression is a process. Truth is not process. Truth is silence and steadiness. When it is expressed, then expression is called word. So word is multiple and confusive and subject to change. So natural, this is called nature. Nature of the nature is to change. So whatever you express, it is different. What you think today, what you understand today now, or what you realize and what you express, that will be different after a little time. Time means changes, it goes on changing. Why it changes? Because of unsteadiness of everything. The mind is unsteady, the prana is unsteady, the senses are unsteady. Everything is unsteady because of this dazzling, confusive, and this glow or effulgence. Can you see anything in clearly in effulgent light, that is flash light? If something is there, some little spot is there under a very powerful flashlight, can you see anything clearly? Because of that glow. That's how this world appears to be something to someone, something else to someone else. This is how it is confusive. But thing is one. Whatever you see, it is only in one. Nobody, no way you can prove it is there and it is true, it is many is true. No means you can apply. This is how Vasistha says, Rama, oh Rama, all these schools of thoughts, the heads of these schools of thoughts, they have declared differently. They are partially right, partially wrong. They are not absolutely right. Who is absolutely right? Whatever you think, that is right for you. So you are the master of your world. And it is you, this perception, it is seeing the world or not seeing the world, seeing many or seeing one. It depends upon you. As you see, as you think, so you are. Don't depend upon others. Be independent. O Ram, you are the master of your world. Understood? There are no objects which is changing, or there is no time, there is no space, there is no nature, there is no changing phenomena, nothing is there. You are there. You create all these. You means either your mind or your ego or your prana or your whole totality as identity. Take it as you like. It is you. It is you. As you think you are, so. As you think, so you are. So as you see, so is the world. Don't depend on others. All these different schools of thoughts, they are not dependable. Why? Because they differ from each other. They don't go to the absolute one. They express. If you also express, you will also differ from others. Keep quiet. Understand and keep quiet. Don't express. The moment you start talking and expressing, you will differ from others. You will be also matter of discussion. So Ram, if you want to see this world, it is under your decision. If you don't want to see, as you like, it is your choice. Ruchinam Vaichityat. Everybody has its own liking and disliking. So, another point you should know, we see this world according to our eyes. Eyes means 5 ways: Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. We see this world as per our eyes. These eyes are whatever the perceptive method is dependent on I. That I is not same I as I am. What do you mean by this? That I is not same as I am at present. I was something else yesterday, in the past. Now I am something else. I is different from past I. Past I has accumulated so many impressions and memories by this method as it is going on now. So those impressions, those accumulated memories or impressions, they have created the past I. Now it has become present I. That is something which projects out to see the world. So that outside world is dependent upon the constitutional situation of the eye. So, eye differs from other eyes. Every eye means every person differs from each other in this sense. We have some assumption. I know the world as something which is different from your world. How do you prove it? You see some person as something, as your friend. I see him as my enemy. Is it not? It differs from person to person. Why? It depends upon your daily transaction, behavior, relationship with the world, the objects outside you. How do you behave? How you do transactions, how you relate, how you behave. That is how you see the world. And you accumulate some impressions. This is like this. And that is different from my assumptions. So in this way we go ahead to see this world. And your world is different from my world. This is how we fight with each other. Everybody is different from each other. So how can we rely upon all these different schools of thoughts? There are only 6 different schools of thoughts. There are thousands of schools of thoughts, not 6. Mainly 6 because some wise people, they discuss on these 6. That's how they have gone up to some distance, so they are visible to everyone. They have reached some height. We are below, down the hill. They have reached some height. That's how they are visible to everyone. Or else in foothills, thousands of schools are there. Means thousands of routes are there to reach the peak, one peak. Understood now? Always, everywhere there is confusion, there is fight, there is difference. And world is not as you think, as you see. Don't believe yourself, nor believe others. So, where to go? What to do? There is no question of believing or not believing. Then you say only Shraddha Vishwas. Huh? You say Shraddha and Vishwas, self-confidence, self-reliance, self-confidence, self-dependency, that will help you. My dear, it is relatively said. Absolutely no dependency, no faith, no faith. Go beyond everything, keep quiet. Don't move. Be a stone, my dear. ये लोग सब चले गए कब के कब, डर के मारे भाग गए सब. हाँ?
शंकराचार्य जी के समय में 820 मते थे.
हजारों मत हैं. 820 क्या? I told you, one Krishna Bhakta, they are devotees of Krishna. There are hundreds of different believers on Krishna. Some say, I believe Devakinandan. Some say no, I believe Yashodanandan. Some says no, I believe on Radharaman. No, I believe on Uddhav Krishna. No, I believe on Arjun's Krishna. I believe on Akrura's Krishna. Akrura, he also saw the Vishwarup. Uddhav also has seen Vishwarup differently. Arjuna also saw different Vishwarup. To whom to believe? Who is real devotee of Lord Krishna? Every two persons will have difference of opinion. You think Krishna is like this. I think my Krishna is there in every nook and corner. I believe, don't see. Some believe and see one God everywhere. I believe one God everywhere, but I don't see the form of that God everywhere. Different of forms, but the principle is same. Some believe principle is same, forms are same, one form only appears in different ways. Some say, no, I believe on Balamukund. Some say, no, I believe on Kansari, the killer of Kansa. No, I believe the destroyer of Kali, Kali. To whom should you believe? Every two will have difference of opinions. So don't go to see and consider who is right, who is wrong. All these are all fake, all something you are not to be enveloped. You are not to be entangled in all these. Keep away and keep away from all these yourself also. You have some ideas about the world. Give up those ideas. It is accumulated rubbish, nonsense, dustbin. So keep quiet if you can. That is the only way.
Jalebi also,
Huh?
Maharaj. Jalebi also.
Kya?
Jalebi.
Jalebi. That is round. See the figure round and give up. So in this way, Lord Vasistha asked Rama, my dear, all these schools of thoughts, they differ from each other, they are not right absolutely, and न तो विज्ञानवादी बौद्धों की अंतर्विज्ञान मात्र परमार्थ पदार्थता है, वो सत्य है, और न वैशेषिकों की बाह्य अनर्थवादिता ही सत्य है, किंतु आप लोगों के संकल्प के अनुसार ये सभी ज्ञान फलीभूत होते हैं, This knowledge, what you see in others, that what you think in others, that is what you see. If at all you say, Buddhists say like this, it is you are saying this. That will be different from others' opinion on Buddhists. You say Buddhists say like that, I say something different. Some say Buddha Dev said like this. Some others say, no, he said like this. Everyone will differ from each other on Buddha. So what is Buddha said, that is something else. What you think on Buddha, that is right for you. That is wrong for me. Go on fighting. No, no, Buddha said like that. Some others will say, no, no, he said like this. This is how there is difference in Buddhism also. In every religion there is differences. Muslims, Shia, Sunni, and in them also many differences. In Hinduism also, in Christianity also, they have so many differences. So don't plunge into differences. Don't be entangled with all these. Keep away from all these, my dear Ram. What you think to be right, that is right for you. Don't force it on others also. That is warning. Because you think it is right, that is not right for others. तुम्हारे बाप मेरा भाई है, मत बोलो मेरे को मैं बाप बोलता हूं तो तुम भी बाप बोलो, ऐसा थोड़ी हो जाएगा. Your father is my brother. You cannot force me to ask him as father. Can you? Is it right? You cannot force your assumption on others. So, my dear, keep quiet, be in you, don't come out of you, be introvert, and reach that absolute one point, Hiranya Bindu, Hiranya Garbha, and forget all these words and keep quiet. तब इनमें कौन सा पक्ष प्रामाणिक है, इसको बतलाते हैं. So which is approved by everyone, which is to be taken as true, proved. वस्तुतः चित्ती में जो चित्व है, यानी त्रिपुटी प्रकाशन की शक्ति जो है, ज्ञाता, ज्ञान और ज्ञेय, त्रिपुटी का जो प्रकाशन की शक्ति है, वही भीतर भावित होने पर जगत रूप से भासते हैं. इसीलिए चित्ती और जगत में भेद ऐसे उपपन्न नहीं होता जैसे जल और द्रवत्व में. He said, which is truth? What is truth? Your vision on the world also is not true. He says, Vasistha Chitti mein, in your thought process, whatever is processed, means whatever is going on, yani Triputika Prakashan, that means the expression of your vision in the form of Tripurti, the seer, seen and seeing process. That process, whatever it accepts, that is known as the knower, known and knowing process. This is true. The knower, knowing process and known object. Whatever is known, that is true. Neither you are there nor I am there. Nothing to worry about. Don't fight against each other. So now, whatever, my dear, you have known, and by your knowing process, and what is known, that is true for yourself. And that is truth. And if that differs from others, don't worry. Let it differ. How, just as I gave the story, the example of the fighting among the children for the color of the chameleon living on a tree. Some said it is red, some said it is blue, some said it is brown. They were fighting. And some old man suggested them, go to the man who is sitting under the tree, a monk. He lives under the tree. He knows what is the color of the chameleon living on the tree. So children went there, and there also they were fighting. And they asked the monk, what is the color? The monk said, my dear, don't worry, don't fight. The chameleon changes its color every month. Whatever you have seen, it is right for you. Don't quarrel with others. That is what Vasistha said to Rama. My dear, whatever you know by your knowing process, and whatever is known to you, that is right for you. Don't fight with others and don't differ from others. Don't worry about others. Worry about your assumption, whatever you have assumed. This world is like that as you see it. इसलिए चित्ती और जगत में कोई भेद नहीं है. So, your mind and world, there is no difference. Your mind is the world is the mind. Mind is time, mind is space, mind is seer, mind is seen object, mind is seeing process, mind is prana, mind is body, mind is everything. Mind is nothing but a process, a vibratory system, a changing system, action and reaction, seer, seen and seen. So don't go to the projected outside world. Be within your mind, see what is mind doing, how it is looking, and what is it doing. That is otherwise known as the sayings of the great ones. They have said, introspection of yourself. Introspection. Inquire, who am I? Know thyself and be free. The world will cease to exist. When you are found, what are you? Then world will disappear by itself. All the desires will disappear. The enjoying desire will disappear. World will disappear. The object will disappear. The subject will disappear. Relationship will there not be seen. Nothing will be there. And absolutely, you are the absolute one. You are the remnants. You are the one without a second. That effulgence which dazzles and becomes many. Your effulgence that dazzles and becomes many as the world. It is you, and that looks like your mind. Oh Ram, your mind and the world are not different from each other. Don't differentiate. So tomorrow we shall see further, if at all. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasisate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय, शब्दा ब्रह्म की जय, सरस्वती महारानी की जय, जोगवशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय।